Hey, what's going on? I'm Nate, and on today's 2 hour grind, I'm going to talk about that previous mail call that I got. Previously, I showed off some Estrela G.I. Joes that I got from Brazil. So I kind of wanted to compare the Estrela version versus the Hasbro version. Some of my childhood figures I've pulled out. The cases were getting redone right behind me. Boom, boom, boom. So I pulled down a lot of the GI Joes to go back in to put some back up. And while I was at that, I figured let's take a look at some of the differences between the Estrela Commandos MSL and the GI Joe, A Real American Hero. So first, let's see. Estrela got the rights um, to use the GI Joe molds and create their own figures. Back sometime around, let's see, 1984, they started to release the straight arm figures that we got in 1982. Um, so it's a couple years behind when they use some of the molds, but they're still pretty rad. We got some pretty exclusive figures out of the deal at times. The Tiger Force, a couple Tiger Force already made it up into the shelf and are already hanging out. And let's see, I'm gonna start dive in. My first one is good old Hit and Run. So we got the Hasbro Hit and Run, and the Estrela. Right away, you can see the major difference, and it's the major difference that runs throughout pretty much all of these guys. The skin tone. So they got a nice skin tone. Our guy, all green, he was painted up. The green is a little bit different, a little bit more vibrant. A lot of their colors do stay a little bit brighter. Of course, his Alpinista came with. He's not complete. He didn't come complete, unfortunately. He's got the pistol. It looks like almost the Cobra Commander style. And then he has a missile launcher, a backpack, missing the missile, and he comes with a machine gun that looks like the Law version 2, which I had one in my weapons box. Not really his. I will look around to find other comps to see if it is actually the same, but for now I'm going to let him hang on to that, but he's not quite complete. His missile is unique as well. It's like a round. Let's see if he's got any markers on him. Yep, so in the inside leg, you can still see the Hasbro. And I'm guessing old Hit and Run's got the same in his, right? So some of these guys are a little bit tough because they do still have the Hasbro, country of origin. So let's check out what's up next. Covergirl or Sparta, right? So again, they changed their names. They had different names. They got to make their own commandos in action. So they gave them their own backstories. The first thing that you notice right off the bat between the Estrela version and the Hasbro version, right, is the skin tone. Skin tone's one of the major tells right away. Everything else is very similar. Molding, everything looks pretty much exactly the same. Mine does not quite have that same logo on her sleeve anymore. It's kind of there still, residual, but not quite. And then we got made in Hong Kong and no country of origin on the Estrela version of Covergirl. So a couple big differences. One being that of her skin tone, she also comes with a stalker gun. She did come complete, which is awesome. Next up is Athena, who is also Scarlet, right? Straight arm Scarlet. She was 1982, and the Estrela version came out in 1985, I think it says. Something around there. I don't want to mix up their parts because she came with the crossbow. Looking closely at the crossbow, it does look a little shinier. I guess it's hard to make out the difference with this lighting because they're, pretty much black. And the main difference again, we got skin tone and her outfit. Her outfit is actually more of like a off-white than the yellowish tan that Scarlet got. And we got Estrela on the back, and then we got her Hasbro 1982, which is gone from the Athena, right? So another pretty awesome figure. You got Athena and you got Scarlet, 1982 to 1985. Slight differences. Easy to tell. Some of these are not so easy to tell, so we're going to see if we can find anything on a couple of them. Alright, so next up we have one of my favorite figures of all, Mr. Spirit. So we got Spirit from Estrela, and we got a Spirit, and this one is the Hasbro version. So we have Flecha Velaz. Oh, I'm going to slaughter that, sorry. It translates into Fast Arrow, Phoenix Eyes. I'll hold the Phoenix Eyes, Spirit. So, pretty awesome Spirit, 1986. Biggest, again, right away you can tell, as I can, colors, right? Man, the Estrela one just pops. Skin tone, way better. No real yellowing or fading in the blue that you see a lot of in the Hasbro version. You got country of origin here, no country of origin there. Everything else, we've got a Hasbro in the inside of his leg on the original Spirit. And let's see, he's got it too. Inside his. While they're all the same, the colors are way different in their accessories. So these bright green, the bright green came with the Estrela, and the a little bit more military greenish came with Spirit. The birds, you can see that right away too. The Estrela one is a brighter bird. A little bit darker for the one that came with my Hasbro Spirit. Belts look pretty much the same. It's really hard to tell, but this is a little bit more, the Hasbro Spirit is a little bit faded, I guess, or a little bit less vibrant than the red in the Spirit from Brazil. So, all the Phoenix Spirit, awesome figure. Really rad. Easy to tell differences to make out. If you're ever looking around and you're like, you're not sure if he's not complete correctly, that's how you tell. Up next, another 1985. This time it is the Cobra Officer. So I have my Cobra Officer with his loose elbow. Oh man, my straight arm officer. 1982 on his waist. Came with his awesome AK. And then you have the Estrela. So the Estrela does have the Estrela up on the top of his back. He's got nothing on his waist. When you look at them head on, they're very similar. I believe the waist is might have been a different waist than the original waist on the Estrela. But everything else looks pretty much the same. Again, skin tone as well, good difference. Cobra symbols are a little bit different. And the big giveaways, the Estrela also comes with a Stalker version 1 gun rather than the AK that he came with in the Hasbro version. Another awesome figure from Estrela. We've got Recondo, Leopardo. And we're going to compare these guys real quick. So, Recondo, Hasbro, mine. I know there's tons of variations in his camo patterns, so they could be a little bit different depending on which version you got, from which factory that they were produced. We'll start taking a look. Again, right away, what is it? Skin tone. Skin tone, the green, way brighter, right? Just like we saw in Spirit's backpack and things, the green really pops. Same sculpts, everything really checks out. Country of origin on the good old Recondo. Nothing on the Leopardo. Their backpacks and accessories basically match their hat, so Hasbro, same colors, and same colors for the Estrela. So if you're ever shopping around and they don't quite match the hat, could be a giveaway. Similar to like the 82s, their accessories match their helmets. All right, next up. So I don't have an American Hasbro Blowtorch, sadly. I don't know why. I have all of his accessories, but I did end up getting Tocha in that order. So one of the main differences is his helmet. You can't tell, it's yellow, it's got the dot holes on it. I think the American Blowtorch is actually like a dock helmet. It's got the two little bumps to hold the mask straps in. I know they've talked about the differences in the waists. I'm not sure if this is one of those variants because I don't have the Blowtorch to compare them to. Country of origin is still in the leg, inside of his leg. He looks very similar to the American version. His accessory, his gun, is a different type of plastic. It has that like a softer, shinier feel to it, and it also is like greener, almost comparable to the greens in the Recondo or the Spirit that we looked at. So slightly different there. But really cool piece. I wish I had the other one to compare it to one day. So Tocha. Speaking of Tocha, the next one I got is Blowtorch, right? Dreadnought Blowtorch. I got my Hasbro version from my shelf, and I've got the Estrela version coming out. So he only had his backpack with him. Looking at them side by side, one definitely got a tan. Blue is brighter in the pants. You know, like the colors or the plastic that they use just doesn't lose that color vibrancy that they do in the Hasbro. So let's see, what do we got? No country of origin on the Estrela and a country of origin on the US Hasbro or G.I. Joe version. So we have Torch, backpack, super similar. I don't think you could tell the difference. This one's like a slightly different color. Just like real slight, but it is. They both got the number 2. Yeah, you can kind of see the color change there. It's a little bit of a different, but not much. So that's Mr. Torch, Dreadnought Torch. Another cool addition. Coming up next is one of the most played with figures from my childhood, Mr. Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi, I've got my Hasbro version here. He is pretty nice copy version of him. He's going to be compared to the Estrela version. Right away you can just tell that yellowing doesn't hit him, right? Like mine's kind of got that yellowish tint to it already. The Estrela's bright green. Really nice. Feels about the same. As usual, the Made in Hong Kong is gone. He does have something in his leg, it looks like. Can't really make it out. My old one with his awesome rusted staples. So, bright green, no country of origin, backpack. You know, it's like the same. They matches the figure, right? It's that same color. Gun, pretty much identical. If I compared them to, I mean, they're black. They're really hard to tell any difference. I'd say a little bit duller, not so shiny. The Hasbro looks a little shinier. And the hose, well, one's a lot longer than the other. They'll feel about the same. That was a sci-fi. Estrela versus Hasbro. Let's see what else is next. Good old Quick Kick coming up. Alright, so we got Quick Kick. We got the Hasbro Estrela. Let's take a look, see what we got for differences on those. Very similar. Even the skin tone, like, it is a little bit different, but it's really close. I don't even see a country of origin on Quick Kick. On his crotch area and like waist piece. And so he's got it on the inside of his leg. And I'm guessing the Estrela. Same in there on the leg. So main difference is that tiny bit of a skin tone. From a distance you can kind of see it a little bit better, I guess. And that's basically it. I don't see much else. So hard to tell, hard to differentiate. His sword is darker on the Estrela, like a darker gray. But that could just be differences in the plastic. Kind of like what I saw in the Torch's backpack, right? So I guess there is a difference between the Estrelas versus the US for the colors. Yeah, you can see it kind of in this one too. A little bit darker of that gray. Backpacks, pretty much check out the same. They got little number 2s in there on both of them. Cool, another awesome piece, Mr. Quick Kick. Storm Shadow version 2 coming up next, so we'll hold them up, get them both next to each other. Hasbro Estrela. I had mine posed with his claw, so let's take a look at them up close. Hasbro and the Estrela right away. You can see one is a little bit brighter white. Mine's pretty nice, but he is slightly yellowed at this point. Tattoos, both there. Paint apps look pretty good on both. He's got a little bit darker gray. Not too noticeable. This one goes back to, he's got the country of origin on his belt, and he does not have anything. Anything on the legs? Looks like there is. So his leg still has country of origin. Like the Hasbro. Take a look at their accessories real quick, compare them, see if I see anything that's major. I mean, they look pretty good, pretty similar. Really hard to spot a difference in those. So we got, and I don't know where I put his his bow and arrow, but he's got it somewhere. So we'll look at the claws. I think the claws are pretty much, you know, everything looks identical on this guy. Super hard to tell. Besides, he's not going to yellow like the other ones do, right? That's the major difference. But and I gave mine the 2 claws, man. He was straight Wolverine, and yeah. All right. One last figure coming up. Who's it going to be? Old 1984 Storm Shadow. My Hasbro Storm Shadow that was up on my shelf. You know, starting to yellow nicely, as most of them have over the years. I'm going to try to pop his backpack off real quick. And his bow. Alright, let's take a look at them side by side. The Estrela, of course. Skin tone, bright white. That emblem is so big, it's awesome. I might actually be displaying the Estrela on my shelf. This one's an interesting one because you can actually see where they covered up his country of origin. It's still, they left the Hasbro, but they covered up the rest on the Estrela versus the Hasbro US version, right? So pretty awesome figure. Good old Storm Shadow, #1 Ninja. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these accessories, see how, if any of those feel different or come off different. His large sword. I know it's hard to see details on the black. Really try to get the light to hit it a certain way. They look pretty good to me. Both look pretty similar. Neither is glossier than the other. The bow is the newer version, right? So the original 84s, I guess because they made it a couple years later, you can definitely see it in the string, right? It's a tiny bit thicker. The original ones were real thin, just like mine, and mine is broken, and that's what happened a lot. So they did end up changing it out to that little bit thicker bowstring in the later ones, I believe. But overall, really hard to tell the Estrela accessories from the Hasbro accessories. And that's gonna do it for this little comparison video today. A little look at, you know, the Hasbro G.I. Joes and their Estrela counterparts. Spot the difference, check them out. I mean, I know sometimes the Estrelas can sell for a premium, so I can see why. On some of them, the colors just pop. They look amazing. So, good luck out there. Thanks for stopping by if you did. Give us a like, give us a follow, any of those spots. I try to post, you know, a little bit of different things all the time. Again, I'm Nate. Thanks for stopping by.